Hey everyone, and welcome back to our history series. Today we're time traveling back to the 6th century BCE, a super exciting era in ancient India. Forget what you think you know about boring history lessons, because today we're diving into the world of the Mahajanapadas. Think of it like an ancient Indian version of Game of Thrones, but with less dragons and more political drama, ambition, and epic battles for power. Ready to get started? Let's go! So what exactly were these Mahajanapadas? The word itself gives us a clue. Maha means great, and Janapada means foothold of a tribe. So we're talking about great kingdoms or republics. Around 600 BCE, after the Vedic period, northern India was a mosaic of various small states and tribes. But then, things started changing. Some of these Janapadas grew bigger, stronger, and more ambitious. They started conquering their neighbors, building massive armies, and creating powerful kingdoms. This led to the rise of 16 major territories, which we now call the 16 Mahajanapadas. Where do we learn about them? Our main sources are ancient Buddhist texts like the Anguttara Nikaya and Jain texts like the Bhagavati Sutra. Both lists have some differences, but they largely agree on the major players. This period is also called the Second Urbanization because for the first time since the Indus Valley Civilization, cities started popping up all over the Gangetic Plains. We're talking about places like Pataliputra, Varanasi, and Shravasti becoming bustling centers of trade, culture, and power. Now let's meet some of these powerful kingdoms. Not all 16 were equally strong. 4 of them were the real heavyweights, the superstars of their time: Magadha, Kosala, Vatsa, and Avanti. These 4 were constantly fighting each other for supremacy. Let's start with Magadha, the undisputed champion. Located in modern-day Bihar, Magadha had some serious advantages. It was sitting on rich iron ore deposits, which meant stronger weapons and tools. The fertile Gangetic Plains gave them a massive agricultural surplus, which could feed a large army. They also had plenty of forests, which provided timber for building and elephants for their army, the ancient equivalent of tanks. Early rulers like Bimbisara and his son Ajatashatru were brilliant and ruthless strategists. Bimbisara used marriage alliances to expand his influence, while Ajatashatru wasn't afraid to use force. He even fortified his capital, Rajagriha, and later built a fort at Pataliputra, which would become the heart of the great Mauryan Empire. Next up we have Kosala, located in modern Awadh region of Uttar Pradesh. Its capital was Shravasti. King Prasenjit was a contemporary of both the Buddha and Bimbisara. In fact, his sister was married to Bimbisara. But family ties didn't stop the rivalry. After Ajatashatru killed his own father, Bimbisara, the conflict between Kosala and Magadha intensified. Eventually, though, Kosala was absorbed into the growing Magadhan Empire. Then there's Vatsa, with its capital at Kaushambi, near modern-day Allahabad. Its king, Udayana, is a famous romantic hero in Sanskrit dramas. He was known for his adventures and his powerful army. Vatsa was a prosperous kingdom located at a strategic junction of trade routes, but like Kosala, it too eventually fell to the might of Magadha. Finally, we have Avanti, in the Malwa region of modern Madhya Pradesh. Its capital was Ujjaini. The king here, Pradyota, was a formidable ruler. He was so powerful that even Ajatashatru of Magadha feared an invasion from him. Avanti was a major center for ironworking and had a strong army. For a long time, Avanti was Magadha's main rival, but eventually under the Shishunaga dynasty, Avanti was also conquered and became part of the Magadhan Empire. So you see the pattern here? It was a 4-way battle royale, but Magadha, with its strategic location, resources, and ambitious rulers, emerged as the ultimate victor, laying the foundation for India's first great empire. But what about the other 12 Mahajanapadas? They were important too. We had kingdoms like Kashi, famous for its textiles, and once the most powerful state before Kosala took over. There were the Malas and Vajji, which were not kingdoms but Gana Sanghas, or republics. The Vajji Confederacy, with its capital at Vaishali, was particularly famous. It was an alliance of several clans, and decisions were made in an assembly. It shows that monarchy wasn't the only form of government back then. Other important Mahajanapadas included Kuru, Panchala, Matsya, Surasena, Ashmaka, Gandhara, and Cambodia. Ashmaka was the only Mahajanapada south of the Vindhya Mountains, while Gandhara and Cambodia were in the northwest, in modern-day Pakistan and Afghanistan, and were known for their fine wool and horses. This period wasn't just about war and politics. It was a time of incredible intellectual and spiritual ferment. Two of the world's great religions, Buddhism and Jainism, arose during this time. Thinkers like Gautama Buddha and Mahavira challenged old Vedic traditions and offered new paths to salvation. The rise of cities and trade created a new wealthy class of merchants who were eager to support these new ideas. This created a vibrant intellectual atmosphere that questioned everything. Okay, theory time is over. As promised, let's see how UPSC has tested this topic in the past. This will help you understand what to focus on. Let's take a question from a previous year's prelims paper. Question: which one of the following was initially the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century BC? The options were A. Gandhara, B. Cambodia, C. Kashi, D. Magadha. Now take a second and think. What did we discuss? We said that Magadha eventually became the most powerful, but the question asks about initially. We mentioned that before the rise of Kosala and Magadha, Kashi was a dominant power. So the correct answer here is C. Kashi. See? UPSC loves to play on these subtle details. They don't just ask who was the strongest overall, but who was the strongest at a particular point in time. Let's try another one. This one's a bit different. Question: with reference to the history of ancient India, which of the following statements are correct? 1. The Vajjis were a monarchical state. 2. The city of Pataliputra was initially a fort built by Ajatashatru. 3. The Ashmaka Mahajanapada was located in the Gangetic Valley. You have to choose the correct statement or statements. Let's break it down. Statement 1. The Vajjis were a monarchical state. Is this true? No. We just learned that the Vajji Confederacy was a Gana Sangha, a republic. So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2. The city of Pataliputra was initially a fort built by Ajatashatru. Yes, we talked about this. He built a fort at the village of Pataligrama to counter the Vajjis, and this later grew into the great city of Pataliputra. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 3. The Ashmaka Mahajanapada was located in the Gangetic Valley. Remember where Ashmaka was? It was the only Mahajanapada south of the Vindhyas, on the banks of the Godavari River. So it was not in the Gangetic Valley. Statement 3 is incorrect. Therefore, only the second statement is correct. This shows how UPSC combines different facts into one question to test your comprehensive knowledge. So, to wrap up, the age of Mahajanapadas was a turning point in Indian history. It was a period of intense political consolidation, the rise of cities, new economic activities, and profound philosophical changes. For your exam, focus on the 4 major powers, especially Magadha, and the reasons for its rise. Pay attention to the capitals of all 16 Mahajanapadas. They often come up in match the following questions. And don't forget the difference between monarchies and republics like the Vajji Confederacy. I hope this session made the Mahajanapadas a little less intimidating and a lot more interesting. It's a fascinating story of ambition, strategy, and change that shaped the subcontinent for centuries to come. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, and don't forget to subscribe for more fun history lessons. Let me know in the comments which topic you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep studying hard.